I didn't yell when my brother slammed the door, didn't flinch, didn't drop the envelope in my hands. "This isn't for you," he said, voice slick with fake concern and hidden judgment, and I watched him, heart calm, pulse measured, as if every insult he thought could hurt me was already harmless. Stored and filed, it was my birthday, a day once meant for celebration. Now a reminder of who I wasn't in their eyes. Enough, present, wanted. And something settled inside me that night, heavy and precise, not anger, not sadness. Something sharper, a decision. I packed my things quietly and left before anyone noticed. No announcements, no explanations, only the hum of the car engine and the slow, cleansing taste of freedom. Distance was the first step, not escape, but observation, watching from afar. Everything becomes sharper. Noticing the tiny fractures, the patterns no one else sees. My brother Ravi wasn't always the antagonist. He was once the one who held my hand on the first day of school, whispered encouragements while I hesitated at playground edges, laughed with me when I scraped my knee. We were a unit, allies against the messy world. But people change, or perhaps they reveal what was there all along. The cracks began subtly, jokes at my expense veiled as teasing, smiles that didn't reach his eyes, advice that smelled more like control than concern. I ignored them, told myself he was stressed, tired, distracted. I gave grace long after it stopped being deserved. The real fracture came months before that birthday when I overheard him talking to my aunt, his words cutting as easily as knives. "She's always dramatic. Everything revolves around her. She can't handle it." They laughed together, comfortably, as if diminishing me was normal, routine even. And in that moment I realized what I refused to see. I had been clinging to a version of him that no longer existed. The childhood hand holding the secret, sharing the laughter, they were memories, not guarantees that night. I planned my absence. I didn't seek revenge that looked messy, loud, uncontrolled. I wanted something clean, surgical, a line cut so sharply that they'd only realize it when it was impossible to reverse. I turned off my phone, stopped checking social media, didn't respond to messages, avoided the subtle traps of guilt they set. Silence became my tool, and silence has a power few understand. It forces people to reckon with what they've taken for granted. I threw myself into work, into routines that required nothing from anyone but me, classes, early mornings, nights of reading and running, through quiet streets every time my family tried to pull me back. I stayed calm, brief, polite, and unyielding. The world beyond them felt wide and steady. My boundaries, sharp as steel. People panic when someone stops answering, stops showing up, stops being a safety net. Their curiosity became anxiety, and their control slipped. A week after my quiet retreat, the call came, late at night, breathless, panic-stricken. "Please, can you come?" Mom fell. "Dad's away. I can't." I paused. The old me would have dropped everything, but not this version. I let her desperation fill the silence. "Where are you?" I asked softly. "Home," she whispered, trembling. "I need help. I can't do this alone." For a second, I almost felt pity, but then I remembered the whispers, the dismissals, the tiny cuts hidden in their smiles. I let the silence stretch like a scalpel waiting for precision until she finally realized what she had lost. My presence, my loyalty, my energy, my patience. And then I asked quietly, deliberately, "Do we even know each other?" Her voice faltered, a choke, the realization landing like a door slamming in her chest. I thought we did," she stammered. "No," I said. You never did. Then I hung up. Calm, precise, the line cut. I slept better that night than I had in years. Not because I wanted her to hurt, but because I finally understood something liberating. Family isn't entitlement. It's reciprocity. It's care that doesn't weaponize your loyalty, doesn't shrink you for amusement, doesn't treat you as optional until it's convenient weeks past life. Beyond them was quiet but full. I celebrated small victories, finishing projects ahead of time, treating myself to dinners. I didn't owe anyone laughing at jokes only I found funny. I discovered how much I had lost by trying to exist in their shadow, and with each day the hold they once had weakened. Then, months later, a message arrived, not guilt, not apology, but necessity. Mom needed me for something trivial but urgent. I read it, smiled softly, and chose not to respond. Sometimes absence speaks louder than presence. Sometimes the world reminds others of your worth simply by letting them experience their own failure. My brother eventually learned the pattern. His attempts to manipulate me, to pull me back into old roles, became transparent. And in that transparency I found freedom. I didn't take revenge. I didn't stage a confrontation. I let them live in the consequences of their own choices, and in that quiet, surgical distance I found something I had never truly had before: power, clarity, and peace. They realized too late that the person they tried to control had moved beyond them, and in that realization I thrived. Freedom is quieter than rage, sharper than confrontation, and more beautiful than reconciliation forced by stepping away, by refusing to participate in the patterns of dismissal and entitlement. I claimed the life I had been silently owed, and the silence that followed, it was finally entirely mine.